Who was okay?
It has.
Who was the first star that come out of the
Nugent-head?
A star? Like what?
Well,
when did
he
Denny?
became a star. Okay, there was other one.
Denny didn't come until 2017.
16.
Late
So
16,
that was his first
late
visit.
16, early
Okay.
17. Yeah.
The first star. You know who was a star? Okay, but you know who else was a star? You know Cody.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, because the very first regular open mics were not at Mika. The first weekly open mics were at Mika, but the first monthly ones were at Hunia, this other place. Okay, that's just another venue. It was part of the scene, the club scene, an important part of the club scene, and they're the ones who first went for. But we couldn't do the like weekly open mics there, so we did it monthly. And Cody, she was like a rising star. You could tell. This Hungarian girl who was 17 at the time.
Was she?
Now she has a band. Now she's like almost nationally known. Really, she has just won all kinds of awards with. She's playing in a duo now. But yeah, anyway, she was really awesome. You could tell that she's gonna be something big because of the stage presence and her voice.
That's the thing. Like for you guys as hosts to be able to see so much talent coming through, do you like who are the ones who strike you in the past and even now? Who strike you as these guys are going somewhere, or we're in like a presence of greatness here. Kenny?
Who are those people?
It's one of the best feelings to watch that happen, but like I've seen Zuby do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Zuby's got 40 million views on one of his YouTube songs, dude. I was like,
40 million.
40 million on Sugar, dude. Like I click into it, it's 40 million views.
This
No,
man
sorry,
rocked
14
Okay,
million.
still, like, if
14
you
million
even hit
views.
1 million.
On Sugar. Which I have a video of him doing it, yelling, by the way. Sorry.
This man like rocked up in my open mic at Uri Muri. Humble as shit. Just told a few. Danny sent him down actually, because Danny was meant to be there and didn't show up. Obviously, Danny. And then he sent like Zuby, and fucking this big guy's like, "Hey man, really soft spoken." I was like, "Yeah, of course you could play."
Really
He was
voice,
so
man.
unassuming, man. And when he got up, holy.
But
You just, but you just like knew, like you knew as soon as
Everybody
that
knows Zuby
boy's
now,
going
he's
to be
famous.
huge. And then fucking look at this. Fast forward like what, a year?
A year and a
Almost
half.
to the fucking day.
He came to Yellen. He used to come to Yellen and play the piano, man. It was like that was his thing. He would just come to Yellen and play piano.
But that was
bang out a couple songs.
That was
like,
before he met Matthew.
That was before he met Matthew. I heard other producers and stuff he's working with
But
now.
then-
But
Yeah. So when did
Even now.
Zuby meet Matthew? Do you guys know this? Like, when did
yeah,
they start
Lynn,
collaborating?
Was it through the open mic?
it
It was through the open mic, definitely, and
a year and a half ago.
basically what Matthew told me was that he just kind of saw this guy with a great presence and kind of humble and kind of easy to work with.
Yeah.
So he just started with like one song. Hey, let's just do one song. Hey, I have this idea. Check this. And then, next thing you know, they're like coming all the time, and they have like serious followers on Spotify and
So does
YouTube.
I think
So
Matthew
like to
and
keep
Gabe.
answering your
Gabriel.
question.
I do have a.
There was Zuby. There's like fucking
Arif. I mean, how can we forget Arif? You know what I mean?
It's not even forgetting. Like I'm getting around to these like the people. Alex Torres.
Alex Torres.
Jesus Christ! Like the talent.
Really awesome talent.
Khaled's about now. Like he's been a few.
Okay,
times, a few
well, then it
He
was.
never came to open mics though.
But he did.
He
No,
he has.
never came to our open
Kale Sanders.
He has, and he's
met.
fucking killing it. And
Okay.
he still shows up. He's like that guy's humble.
Yeah. Well, he loved open mics because it was a different thing. Kale Sanders was a hit on this televised talent show a few years back, right? So he got national, and he got almost to the final or something like that. And it was runner-up, something like that. Anyway, so he was nationally known. By the time he came to Lampash, that's another open mic, right? We're talking about. And
Lampash.
and he saw Zuby jam with Matthew, and they started basically bullshitting and jamming and stuff. And the next thing I know, that's also where Kale Sanders met Alex Torres at Lampash. Wait. Let me just. And yeah. And
Ooh, the first sparks have appeared. Yes, the first sparks have appeared.
So I'm sitting over here.
no, I just wanted to
Continue,
get this one
Gabo.
thing. Right, because it was really awesome, and there were some awesome success stories like that. Like Alex Torres meets Kale Sanders, right, at some Lampash open mic on a Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And next thing I know, in 2 weeks, I see Alex Torres on TV.
Yeah.
Accompanying Kale Sanders because they were running for the Eurovision.
I've been on
thing,
X Factor
right?
Hungary, so.
Right.
Hang on a
Oh,
second.
wait, that's the next story.
You got to tell this story after this.
So that's that. There's this other Hungarian duo, the siblings, you know, who came to open mics regularly. They sang in Hungarian. I noticed that they were really, really good and great presence and lyrics and everything.
Oh, the
Muzik and Volkova.
The Volkova sisters, is what they're called. Yeah.
The siblings, yeah.
Yeah,
Muzik and Volkova. And the next thing I know, in a couple of months, they're like opening acts for Quimby, which is like
they're
you know,
really
one of the
fucking.
best.
I see their like before the lockdown. I saw their flyers and shit everywhere, and they're really. He's a really nice guy.
Very nice guy.
And I really out of the Hungarian legs that used to come and play, they were my favorite. I really liked them.
So, like, to finish answering your question as well.
Question that we had a half an hour ago.
So to finish answering your question, you've got like even like Ashraf, Cece, like it's very easy to see. Like there's no
The talent.
in our community. There's no bad performers, and like that never fucking happens.
Well, the thing,
There's no bad. And each person's unique. There's,
Can I
like,
expound on that?
you cannot I cannot pinpoint like who is. Like that, but Zuby was the first rise.
Zuby was the first you noticed.
Any one of them motherfuckers,
Yeah.
Jeff, fucking anyone.
No,
like,
the serial killers was born out of this.
Listen, there's
like,
always
out of
new
that
people
whole thing,
coming.
you know?
There's always new people coming in, and there's always the people going away, and it's fucking fluid.
Yeah, that's the
Fucking
thing. It
you.
moves in and out, isn't
Gabor
it?
has a saying. What is it? Open mic is the Tinder of
Musicians Tinder.
Musicians Tinder.
Actually, I didn't come up with that.
And
Somebody
I think this is
mentioned
the
it.
least cliquey one because, like, before lockdown and shit, this is like the least cliquey one. I've
What,
seen. 'Cause
Budapest?
Anybody fucking has joined it. Anybody who has solid,
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I would just add
Almost have a
something.
survey right now.
What I heard just from feedback is the most welcoming scene.
Probably, yeah, I would agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Because a
But
lot of
That's
people,
all
because
how we do our shit. Man. That's
a
all
lot of
we-
people were newcomers here anyway, and they wanted the community. The reason, I think, one of the reasons this community managed to evolve, even though it's still by accident, was that there were a lot of newcomers, and they found a really truly open community, like that was welcoming, whether you performed or not. There were other
Yeah, of course.
regulars within the crowd that
Sure.
were never performers. They just loved the scene, and they made friends and everything, and
Look at Emil.
it was all really,
Yeah.
really welcoming.
You gotta admit,
Look at fucking Emil.
Emil.
He doesn't play, but he's definitely fucking.
you have Tito. You have to
big
admit,
part of the community.
you guys have to admit that the
He's
character.
fucking
hated open mic
amazing.
at the beginning.
Who?
And
For the record,
Emil?
For the record, Emil.
Oh man, I fucking cut my arms open. Everybody sings all these sad songs. Everybody fucking commits suicide.
So
man.
for the record,
All of them-
Emil
No,
is
he
a
was the
massive
biggest downer every
Scandinavian
time.
giant,
And
jolly green giant of a
and
man.
then-
No, you're singing to a sad
girls
song.
started singing. He'd be like, ooh.
Oh, she good. Where's Zara? We want to hear Zara. No, what was that song that Ash always plays?
I don't know, but yeah, he always bulldozed. He has
The bulldozer.
See, this whole community has
that's what I mean.
terms of its own now. It literally is a
bulldozer.
living.
It
human
has its
being,
own
you know,
language.
It does, you know. I mean, it's a human.
Okay.
Fucking thing.
All right. So let's talk about some of the characters that the who's ringing? Who's ringing? Oh,
I turned mine
Turns
off.
off.
I'm not an apple, so you know who that is.
Oh,
Dude,
he's
the
answering
newcomer.
it now.
No, I'm just doing a message saying sorry. I'm on a podcast.
All right, you just do that, guys.
That's the
Gabor
thing about
and Tito. Who are the like? We talk about Emil,
Yeah,
and they're not performers,
yeah.
but there is like
Cast of
there's a
characters.
crowd of
Well,
people who have come and supported and really taken up the.
Sabo Yudi, fuck.
Who do you like? Who are some of the ones that come to mind?
Well, who would always come to open mics? There was always like you'd always see.
Katarina.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
people
there's
just stuck with
there
us.
were always
you
friendly
know?
faces. You know what I mean? That was the nice thing. I'd walk in the Yellen, on a, you know, because it was I did it every Monday except for like one or two for almost 5 years. You know, and it's like it wasn't a job, and I never dreaded doing it. Like towards the end when I started having to do 1066 and then Davy Burns and stuff, and I was doing it 3 nights a week, I was kind of like, ugh. Okay, it's
Yeah.
only 2 hours. But
Yeah.
like Yellen, I never ever felt like that, man. Because I always know I get there. You know, we start 8:30, 9ish. I get there 7:38, setting up. Always be somebody I would, hey Tito, sit there and have a beer and bullshit, whatever, you know. And it was like it was never a job. It was fun for me.
Yeah.
And I during this lockdown, I do miss Yellen. And now who knows if Yellen's going to come back because of the whole reconstruction of Blaha.
He was
and stuff.
describing how Yellen's just
Yeah, I
full
walked
of.
by like a couple weeks ago, and they just and Juju told me that as well. They're just using it as a storage area for
Wait a
all the
minute.
construction material for the rest of the renovation of the
that's
building. So
Yeah.
What are the other characters?
Pick to the window and it's
Wait,
just like
Tito,
bags of
tell me that
concrete.
again. I'll like overlay like some really sad music over this. It's like
Little
violin.
violin.
So tell me more about. Oh,
Wait, no, Tito.
that's horrible though.
Wah,
Tito.
wah, wah.
Tell us about how you were on the Hungarian X Factor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you repeat that question?
Is that really
I want to
relevant
come.
to the open
I
mic
want to
scene?
come back to
Because-
that later. We'll save that as a spare.
Because
Babe.
those guys, that band, I don't think they were friends of mine, but they were actually friends with Tim, the kid that did the original open mic, Budapest Open Mic Nights.com, was this Tim kid who had the first one that we were talking about earlier that had
Tim
Okay.
Atkins.
Atkins, yeah, they had the ones where like.
That's not.
but he
about
was
the
friends with the
nights.
guys that I was in this band with that I was on the X Factor, so that's how that whole thing happened. So it does have kind of a little open mic.
Yeah, there's a little connection there.
But those guys never came. But another star that we're talking about who I remember, who was Redbreast
Redbreast.
Wilson, because he came to the first time I ever met him was at Mika when it was still in the
No.
basement at the beginning. Is when I met him.
Oh, okay.
And then but he's one of those guys when he comes, he doesn't come that often. He never tells you he's coming. He just comes, turns up, and it's always a great time because he plays a lot of good music. And it's like,
have you noticed a lot of times it's a date.
oh yeah, he'll bring a date. He'll come and he'll have a girl.
How
Classic
convenient! How
musician
convenient! I
move.
mean,
I'm sure
you
there's
can
a lot
show
of people
off.
that do that. Yeah,
I'm
it's a
pretty sure.
great way to show off.
Great way to
Yeah,
show
Pretty
off,
sure
man.
that's
You
how,
know,
Snacks like
especially,
Torres.
especially when the host walked up to
Why is Attila not here? Because he's always
I
he
know.
would always bring girls. He's like, hey, I'm gonna go and play a couple
Attila.
songs. And,
That's right. Why isn't Attila here, babe?
There are still, yeah,
True.
but this whole scene is like full of these little sub stories,
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
things like
It's
that.
it's
like Redbreast Wilson, this Hungarian guy who for some reason fell in
Sounds like he's
love
from
with
fucking Alabama.
Americana
I've seen
music.
him. I've seen him.
I
Last
believe you.
open mic.
And
playing in his
basically,
band for a while because
yeah.
of this shit.
And
It's
then
crazy.
he, you know,
Where's he gone?
He's here.
he's on and off. Yeah.
He does a lot of recording
He had a
recently.
band.
I've
He had
seen him recently.
Tito played with him and everything. And he just started coming to these events. Actually, you know how I met him? It was, there's yet another character we have to talk about, and I think he would permit us to, is Steve Cara.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
met him through Steve Cara. I mean,
Really?
Steve Cara is like another godfather. I mean,
He
there are
is- he
several
is the
bosses.
godfather,
There are several
So
bosses
this is
here,
the
and
five
he's
boroughs,
another.
but there's a couple guys that are
Above, that combine the Chicago and the New York
it's like
City
the
scene.
shadowy figures, you know.
Ah.
You know,
Right.
Nick,
The guy behind the
Jimmy
guy.
Hoff fuzz, you know?
yeah, when Nick Fury calls, you know,
He's a Nick Fury.
Those guys are above Nick Fury. You know?
Oh,
They're like,
Jesus.
So there are these levels, right? Anyway, so there's this.
there was an Avengers reference if you didn't get it.
this
The
other
Jimmy
guy.
Hoffa reference was
And what-
terrible. That means they were.
Hey, I'm from
they
Jersey. I'm
fucked
from
up.
New Jersey, man. You know, it's like-
Dude, they.
All right, bring it in.
Mafia is overall kind of terrible, and they live off of crime. But anyway, so let's go back to music.
So Steve Cara,
So Redbreast Wilson came to Hundia way back, probably 2014, right? When it was only monthly open mics there, and then we started inviting this guy because he is one of the most authentic sounding Americana. Like what is it, Mississippi blues or?
Yeah, Delta blues kind of thing. Yeah. But he lived in Germany for a while, and that stuff is huge in Germany.
He's never been to the U.S.
Never, yeah. But he works at the Levi's store now.
Well, how
Which is
authentic! Now
ironic.
that, that's really awesome. So he's a great blues and like kind of bluegrassy country.
Yeah, he loves
playing.
that whole black,
really
like,
awesome.
Okay.
And even
outlaw
his
country stuff.
pronunciation, it's really awesome.
All right.
So that's that. And then
So that's
we
him?
have to talk about Steve Cara. Steve Cara is this guy who is also a big supporter of jams. He used to organize jams here, and he became an instant supporter of.
He was born here. He's Hungarian.
So he was
left in
born here, but he
56, so
left at
escaped in '56.
Right.
In a
When
hay wagon
he was
when
2
he was
years
2.
old. Anyway, he grew up in the U.S. and he right now. I mean, he knows all the stars in Los Angeles and
called
everything.
color.
I mean, he is an authority in the music,
Okay.
in the music business, and besides that, he works for NASA. But
Yeah,
that's
he's also a
'cause
rocket
he's also an
scientist
engineer.
as well. So he's probably the best guitar player I ever met, and a rocket scientist
That's
as
right.
well.
So he was a guitar player.
And one of the
He is.
nicest guys you'll ever meet as well.
And he was a great supporter. He brought a lot of people together too, and he gave all kinds of gifts. Like he built guitars for
Yeah.
people and things like that.
Not
He's
for free,
amazing.
but he would
So
do it.
this is actually. I mean, the more we talk about it, the more elaborate this scene is. You know?
Yeah.
We're
And
gonna have to
there
have
are all
part two
these
of this.
channels.
Yeah,
There are all
Yeah, this
these
can't be done.
channels.
This was never going to be able to be done in one
No.
in one part. That's the thing.
Because we're gonna have to have a Kenny episode here.
There'll be offshoots.
I'm all right, man.
Sorry.
No, that's the thing, Kenny. You and I are late arrivals to this scene. This is what today's about: is to find out what happened
foundation,
before we.
But
we
it's
rocked
cool. I
up
mean,
and
it's also great to hear your impressions. You know, when you first arrived, the way you discover. How did you discover it, Jazz? Now, I'm sorry. Joining us is
Joining
another godmother.
Thank you for the introduction, kind host. Oh wait, hang on. Which of you?
yeah, we haven't mentioned
At the Hoff House, if you order some wings,
by the way,
you get a free beer.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and we're still on Volt, please buy our food because times are hard right now. But
Right.
I'm not here to sell the pity story. So moving in from the background. Me personally, how I discovered open mics was when we were running our foam parties back in Fogash, and you were still running the
Trying to be
Tuesday,
okay.
Wednesday night.
It was Wednesday night.
It was Wednesday night at
Only
Fogash.
the summer of 2016.
Yeah, summer of 2016 in Fogash Carrot, and we were running the foam parties next door in Fogash
I went
Has.
once.
And I remember sometimes you did it Fogash Carrot, sometimes you did it in Fogash Has. This is before Insta
Yes.
moved in there.
That was
And then whenever you were doing it inside, then like that's when I first met you as well. Is when I had to go up to you and be like, "Hey, we're just setting things up for a foam party. I don't and like I hate
Oh
to
my
disturb."
God.
You remember that? Do you remember that? And I was
Yes, I
wearing
do
like
now.
the gray shirts, the
Thank
gray
you for-
uniform shirt
I
with the
remember
bright
that
yellow
now.
writing. Yeah, you remember that.
I remember those
Oh my
T-shirts.
God.
for
You remember those
sure,
T-shirts?
for
The
sure.
neon green for the
'Cause we
guests, gray
stayed-
with the
yeah,
green
we
writing for the
stayed
staff.
there. I remember meeting you, but I don't remember like meeting you. You know what I
Right?
mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.